So I know that policies are being updated frequently by cruise lines, but I have to admit, I just didn't see this one coming. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifeworldcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. No, I really didn't even want to talk about protocols because I really just want to talk about cruising getting back. But I do think that as we are booking our cruises, as we're planning our cruises, as we're making those final arrangements, especially if we're booking non-refundable deposits or we're maybe making arrangements on flights, we do really need to know what the facts are. So in this video, I'm going to break down the latest protocols, including a major change, a major update that really does affect a lot of people that are going on a cruise. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. All right, let's get started. Now, I am going to be talking about three things. One, what cruising looks like for vaccinated and unvaccinated passengers right now, what you can expect, what some of the main protocols are, and really the things that you need to know. Two, the Canada cruise ban and the travel restrictions in Canada, a little brief overview of what is going on with that and why there has been really some very good news on that front. And three, the big, I think, controversial news about the vaccine mixing and what this means for so many travelers, including Canadians and people from probably likely outside of the United States. I'll give you my thoughts on it. And well, we will talk about it. So now that cruises have restarted from the United States with Celebrity, with Royal Caribbean, with Carnival, it has been great to see because people have had a great time. Things have gone really well. People are happy to be back. And honestly, the cruise lines, I think, have been really doing a phenomenal job. It hasn't been easy. However, looking at the protocols, at least we're able to finally see what things look like in practice. Now, there are, of course, those vaccinated cruises and those technically unvaccinated cruises. But in reality, even the unvaccinated cruises are really functioning with the majority of people being vaccinated. If I'm not mistaken, on a recent Royal Caribbean cruise on the Freedom of the Seas, they had something like 90% of the cruise that was vaccinated, despite the fact that they had some unvaccinated passengers on that ship. Now, on vaccinated cruises, it does look like there are really a lot less restrictions. So on the Celebrity Edge, people weren't wearing masks. There wasn't a lot of social distancing. Really, the cruise, it seemed, functioned almost like before. The activities were all available. That seemed to be a really great experience. Now, on cruises where there is a combination of people that are vaccinated and unvaccinated, there are more restrictions for people that are unvaccinated. So that includes on Carnival's cruise ship, on Royal Caribbean's cruise ship. That includes if people are not vaccinated, that they'll have to go through testing and some other protocols that are going to actually come with an extra expense. Now, on those cruise ships, if you are not vaccinated, there are some areas that people that are unvaccinated aren't able to go, or at least not able to go during certain hours. Now, do you have to wear a mask on a cruise? If you're not vaccinated, there are many places that you do have to wear a mask, but not outside. If you're vaccinated, on the most part, you don't always have to wear a mask, but there may be on those unvaccinated cruises, there may be some areas and sometimes that you do actually have to wear them. Now, from what we've seen across the board, masks do have to be worn in terminals. And sometimes in cruise ports of call, people do have to wear masks as well. Now, while I'm giving you a bit of an overview of what the protocols look like, I don't want to go into the specifics because the reality is that every cruise line does have different protocols. And in some cases, they have different protocols based on different itineraries, based on different ships and different embarkation ports. So it really is important if you're looking at booking a cruise or if you're booked on a cruise, is really to look at the specific information on your cruise line's website. Now, Alaska cruises are coming up, so we're going to have a chance to see what things look like in Alaska. If you are sailing to Alaska, please let me know in the comments below. Now, speaking of Alaska, there has been some great news in that the Canada cruise ban has finally been lifted for November 2021. Now, while this will not affect anything for this season in Alaska or Canada, New England, the reason that this is such good news and it's so helpful is that this way cruise lines can actually plan and cruisers can actually plan their cruises for next year. So they can have certainty over those itineraries. At the same time, in reality, the businesses in Vancouver and Victoria and Halifax and Quebec City and elsewhere can plan as well. Now, I know some people have said, well, maybe the cruise line should just bypass Canada altogether and maybe do away with the Passenger Vessel Services Act. And in terms of that, I don't really have an opinion, but I will say these are beautiful cities that are absolutely worth visiting. And I don't think the cruise lines are going to be canceling those ports, those sailings, those itineraries anytime soon. I can tell you as a Canadian, I actually haven't traveled enough in Canada, and I definitely want to do a Canada-New England sailing. I think I'd really like to go see my maritime provinces, and of course, I love New England as well. Please let me know if you've ever done that itinerary. Any tips you have, I'd love to hear them as well. Okay, now let's talk about a major protocol update. It has to do with the vaccine, and it really does affect so many people. Now, what I did this morning is I actually spent time researching every single major cruise line, and I looked into what their policy is right now in terms of the vaccine. And what I mean is the vaccine that they consider acceptable to be considered fully vaccinated. Now, if you go to any of the major cruise line websites, including Carnival, Princess, Holland America, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, or Norwegian Cruise Line, you will see it looks like they've updated their website to include the information of which vaccines do you accept. That was there before, but do you accept the mixing of the vaccines? And it was worded differently on some of the different websites. I'll show you as I'm talking some of the different websites, some screenshots of that so that you can see it. So at this time, and of course this can change, but Carnival, Princess, and Holland America are accepting the mixing of the mRNA vaccine. So that's the Pfizer and Moderna, whereas Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, and Norwegian Cruise Line are not accepting the mixing of any of the vaccines. So that means not a Pfizer and Moderna or an AstraZeneca followed by a Moderna, etc. This presents a major problem for Canadians in particular, because in Canada, we have actually been encouraged to, if we had an AstraZeneca shot at the beginning, to perhaps take a Moderna or a Pfizer shot after that due to the potential blood clot issue. At the same time, due to the availability, Canadians were encouraged if they had Pfizer at the beginning and if Moderna was available when it was time for them to get their second shot, to take Moderna and vice versa. Now, I should mention this is the health guidance in Canada, and there's a lot of evidence that this is safe and effective, and other countries have been doing this as well. And I don't know if this stemmed from a statement that the World Health Organization had made that they now say was misinterpreted, where they said that perhaps it wasn't safe for people to be mixing vaccines. They've since clarified their statement, and they now say what they meant is on their own and not with guidance and adding a third vaccine. And well, this just adds to a lot of complications to the whole issue. So I'm not going to debate that whole issue, but just something to note if you are Canadian or even if you are American and perhaps you took the two different vaccines that were the mRNA, that this really does affect you. I don't know how long this is going to last. I really haven't seen more information or more clarification from the cruise lines, and I really would like to, because I think it's really important. So let me know what you think. I have to say, there's very little that gets me a little bit riled up, but this does get me a little bit riled up because of the uncertainty of this. And I think really people do need to know the information so that they can make plans. Now, if you're Canadian, Prime Minister Trudeau did address this, not specifically in relation to cruises, but talking, I think, more in general about travel. But what he said was, we're going to work with the international community to make sure that people who are fully vaccinated in ways that Canadians recognize as safe and effective are also recognized around the world. So I hope that the information in this video has been helpful for you. Please let me know your thoughts. And if you did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.